we just wanted to give a quick update before we really dive into this video, because I know it's kind of a long one, but there's a lot of really cool stuff at Tacoma mine, so keep checking it out. And Rachel's got some great information about it here that we'll play while we're watching some of the intro stuff. But we want to give a quick update. We're recording this on May 24th, 2020, just in the whole quarantine times. But you know, we're still moving forward with thinking about plans and things like that. We went to an RV show today. We shot some video there. We'll have that in an upcoming video. Here in Reno we went to, and saw a lot of good stuff. Kind of have a line on a 2019 trailer possibly too. I know somebody that's wanting to get rid of one because it's not exactly what they needed, so that could be a good avenue as well. I don't know what it is or how much it costs. Literally know nothing about it yet, but it's, you know, keep your ears open kind of thing. So yeah, so when we are able to sneak out and go do fun things outside, we're trying to stick kind of close to home. So when I was just poking around on the internet trying to figure out a cool place to go, this was, gosh, probably a month ago now that we did that recording, I came across this really neat website, and I guess I'll give it to you here. It's the forgottennevada.org website. They have a really comprehensive review of tons of different ghost towns in Nevada, and there are so many different ones to go and see, and they're varying levels of, you know, what is standing and what's left and what you can actually see. And this one called Como, we didn't have super high hopes because it didn't sound like there was a whole lot left of it, but it was a cool drive up into the mountains, so we figured we'd try it out. And actually it was pretty sweet. So I'll just give you a little bit more information here. But yeah, before she does that, real quick, I've seen a lot of mines, and so has she. But as archaeologists, we've seen a ton of mines, and I have never seen some of the things we saw on this site.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well, that's because a lot of what we were seeing was mill leftover,
right,
which you don't come across as often. So.
No, the mine and the mill are usually two separate things. They pull the material out here, they refine the material over here, and you're right, you don't often see evidence of the mill. I don't know if it was the remoteness of the location or what that caused them to not dismantle that and take it somewhere else.
Yeah, because it was definitely a bit of a haul to get out there. So
yeah.
So Como is an abandoned mining camp tucked into the Pine Nut Mountains just east of Dayton, Nevada. It was pretty easy to get there, but the road was super, super bumpy, and it was a good thing we had high clearance and good tires and stuff like that. So I definitely recommend having good suspension and tires and things if you want to head out there. But it wasn't a super long drive. It took us an afternoon to get out there, I think. The history of Como is pretty typical of many abandoned mining camps in Nevada and California. Gold was found in the 1860s, and Como was initially developed as an offshoot of the Palmyra mining district. And then as Palmyra waned, miners moved on to Como, and by 1863 there were up to 1,800 people living at the town site. But unfortunately the area didn't produce as much gold as anticipated, and a mere 3 years later, Como was all but deserted. Everyone moved on to Virginia City in the incredibly productive Comstock lode. In 1905, Como experienced a short revival with the addition of electrical equipment that allowed water to be drained out of the mines easier. Unfortunately, there was not enough gold recovered, and operation shut down after a few years. And then finally, there was one more revival in 1935. A large mill was built to process the tailings piles from all the previous mines with the hope that they would be able to pull out additional material. However, the reports of the potential material left in the tailings proved inaccurate, and the mill shut down after just a couple years of operation. Since that time, the area has been abandoned. We found just one partially standing structure at the Como town site, along with some household trash, though not very much. It was, however, super cold and windy, and we didn't explore nearly as much as we would have if the weather had been better. It just was not comfortable being out there, so we took off pretty quickly. But while we were driving up there, we saw a whole bunch of circular metal structures. We didn't know what they were, and then we also saw a bunch of shafts along the road. So as we were driving back down, we took a closer look, and the shafts were definitely probably the original mine site. We didn't go too close to it because it was marked as private land on our maps, and also it looked a little bit dangerous. There's fences around them, but they were falling down in places. And then we did go check out the mill area because that was totally open and seemed safe enough, and that's what you'll see on the video. So yeah, that area is what we think was the mill that they built in 1930-ish. So, yeah.
Yeah, so look for a link down below in the notes for this video to that Forgotten Nevada website. What was it?
Yeah, forgottennevada.org, and then also ghosttowns.com, which is a larger conglomerate of ghost towns. But
and hey, if you've made it this far, share the video. You know, just share it out. Let other people see it. Help us out. Help get some more visibility, and give it a like as well.
Yeah.
Usually do like and subscribe at the end, but people don't stay till the end.
Yeah, do it now.
Do it now. I think one of my favorite things about the old walls like this is seeing some of the mud and just, you know, the way that they made the kind of the mortar between the rocks, and also the rocks. These aren't shaped. Some of them might be. They might have chiseled them a little bit, but this is basically just picked up off the ground. And then when you go over here to this side, this is probably a more weather-facing side, so a lot of that has been worn away and beat away by rain, whereas the spot I showed you was a little more sheltered. But this here, it's almost completely gone. It's all wall too. See there. I don't know what this building was, but it was a pretty good size. It's probably at least about 30 feet by 12 feet or so, 15 maybe. I don't know. There might have been some kind of door opening here. One of the things to remember when you're around these historic sites is there's a big opening right here where there's no wall, and it makes you think, well, that must have been the primary opening was, doors or whatever, because that's where the road is. But as of course we know, the road wasn't there in 1849. I don't know what was there. There probably was some kind of pathway or something that they created for the miners to get back to and from the mine and the people that were living here, but it certainly wasn't this nice big BLM 2-track road, so who knows.
But check that one out. It's got an MA on it. Who knows what that stood for, but oh, actually there's a no, like there's oh, it's a mason jar. There's an S after it. I bet it's a mason jar. So
it fits with the size of the base there.
Yeah, sure does. There's nothing on that base. So let's
such a mix of some trash here though, because when you're looking at old stuff, I mean, we've got amethyst glass, which typically the creation of that glass dates to pre-World War I, because it makes an amethyst. But then, yeah, but then we've got like some ribbed regular old cans that you'd be familiar with.
Yeah, I mean, this one looks a little older than what you'd get at the store, but it's still more modern than the amethyst or the aqua glass that we're seeing here.
Yeah, Slash typically ribbed just means slightly newer, you know, than the other stuff. But I don't know, it just goes to tell you that this could have been somebody just dumping trash out here, probably not contemporaneous with the site, because mason jars were definitely not from the 1850s.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Neither was sheet metal. So I want to get kind of close on this because it's super windy out. I don't know if you can hear us, but we're driving from the coordinates that placed the Como town site from a website that Rachel found. But we passed what is the mine on the way up. That is probably the Como mine because it's part of the same information. But on the way down, found a sweet little watering hole, and I just wanted to show this because these are definitely non-native trees right here. This one and this one, somebody planted these, which is super cool, and that they are basically thriving. Well, I mean, they look dead right now, but it's springtime. Yeah, I mean, this could have been something, or I don't know, people chose to plant stuff here just because it seems like there's natural water runoff. Not really sure. Definitely a different environment because of the constant flow of water down through this canyon. Same one?
Probably.
I don't know.
idea what it is. Big circular thing, looks like some kind of drum that would have spun, maybe separating out the rock sizes or whatever. I don't know anything about mining, but it's cool to look at. So it is muddy as hell. Hope you weren't trying to keep your shoes from getting dirty.
Coming up the hill hard.
Right?
We're probably around,
Whoops, sorry.
6,000 feet here,
Yeah,
I would assume, or higher.
I'm definitely feeling that elevation a little bit. What do you think that thing was? Some kind of drum separator? Something or another?
Well, it looks like it might rock something.
Yeah, it totally does, doesn't it?
So it's either electrically or water driven. It looks electrical because I don't see fins or anything. And it tumbled material inside of it to break it up and or separate out the heavier stuff, because gold is always heavier.
Yep.
It definitely looked like this was a roller, that's without question. And I mean, I just have to assume the stuff was on the inside, but I honestly don't know. It's nice and smooth in there, but there's also a lot of piping and machinery in there and connections. That wouldn't have stopped the material, it'd probably help break it up. I mean, it's either that or whatever was on the outside of this was crushing stuff underneath it, but I really find that hard to believe because of the size of this. Why would you need all that to crush that stuff? And I think this was more for structural support, this wiring around it.
This is a chute right here.
Yeah. So stuff came over.
Came over the top and down that chute, I bet.
All right, so somehow stuff came over, maybe right down into this chute right here, and then down underneath.
Yeah.
Rachel spotted that one. I didn't see that. So why was it so big?
I don't know. And maybe they did just
Yeah, maybe it had two uses.
I don't know. This is slippery. I feel like I'm gonna fall.
Put your camera down, I got you. Oh, I got your filming. I don't have you. I'll watch you. I'll film you falling. All the way to the bottom. People always say that you could have a superpower, what would it be? I always want to go back to the Pierce Anthony book. The first one in the series everybody knows. What's that called?
Xanth? The Xanth?
Yeah, the Xanth series, where with Gollum. And Gollum's talent was being able to talk to inanimate objects.
You wanna?
I want to know.
You wanna know what this is for?
Yeah. Like, what the heck is all this doing? I mean, you could know from a historical context, but I want to see it.
I mean, I can take a guess here. You ready for this? Okay. You've got the roller thing down there where they're doing some kind of material separation. This over here is the bones of a chute of some sort. So the material would come down this and then into the roller down there. Now up this way, you see the remains of all this wood? This was more chute activity. Up to that top part up there, which is probably a platform. And then if you pan out that way, see there's back dirt piles over there? That's where their mine shafts are, if I had to guess. And if we walked up to,
Tailings.
Yeah, we probably see much faster as they're pulling material out there and then setting it down. That's my prediction.
It also looks like these two round platforms over here, we just saw one that has a structure underneath it, and then the one on the other side of it there. I bet those were sorters, material sorters.
I bet you're right.
Material comes down onto there. They're sorted by either weight or size somehow through the process of something going around. They used to have, I think it would have predated the early part of the 20th century form of this, not the later part of the 19th century, but because I don't think this is from the 1800s, really.
No, there is some activity here in like the early 1900s, I think. So.
Yeah, this just looks like that kind of construction.
Yeah.
And the graffiti. I mean, they didn't have spray paint until then. So anyway,
it says literally 2019 right there.
Oh yeah. Well, anyway, so what it was called an arrastra when they had this round circle with a point in the middle, and they had basically a donkey or a mule or something going around in circles and basically using a big grinding stone to crush material, like a big piece of granite or some other heavy stone, something heavier and more dense than whatever they were grinding. And then they would crush it using that. And that looks like what this is, except not with mules. It's just something bigger. Maybe it was
Maybe motorized
in some way, yeah, or electrically driven, or water driven. And then sorting material out somehow. Honestly, that's just a guess. I've never seen one before on a mine site.
Yeah, this is our semi-expert opinion on what's going on here. Maybe not even expert, like
I wouldn't say expert.
Semi-knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Like we've seen pieces of a lot of this stuff over the years, but
yeah. All right, now it's time for snacks now.
also, nice job pulling Arrastra out. That was a good one.
Arrastra. That's some science shit right there.
That was not a word that I had in my brain. Love hopping around rocks. Loose, mucky, mud, muck. Not my favorite. Look at that creepy graffiti on the wall behind you.
So the big, huge beams here. I mean, that just tells you how much kind of weight was on top of this thing. There's a beam every 4 feet, and it's a 8x6 beam, you know, or 4x6 at least.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
With huge beams up here. There's already a ton of sand up there.
Yeah.
A ton of sand up there.
Yep.
A lot of them. Crazy.
Cool. Drone mishap. I'm chasing after Chris right now because he is chasing after the drone, so we'll see where it is. We found the drone. That's good that you can see it. Is he broken forever?
It's not broken, probably.
Oh.
But these spiky bitches right here.
Oh my God, those are spiky.
Are going to be a problem. But I'll tell you what. Even though I don't have GPS or a map signal, I do have the image on the map, so I knew where to go right to it. That's why I didn't shut it off. So now I'm going to try to grab the drone.
Okay. I'm going to film it, and I'm expecting curse words.
Yeah, if you hear a lot of sound effects here in a minute, there's a reason for that.
Hopefully you can get a couple steps in and just reach. Lucky, really.